Hello, my friends, to a new day of another thing we've got to do about my new job I had last season. I had just applied and become a cartoon critic, and then after that, I was thrown into it where I could review any cartoon I wanted, and I would get credit for the review. But I hadn't seen any cartoons when I got the job, so I'm just catching up on the essentials. Like, I can't read quite what they're saying, but now we discussed that this is not exactly a cartoon, but some kind of a cartoon with music, and it's a video game actually, and it doesn't seem much like a cartoon because they're selecting options, and to select an option or to go in a different direction, you have to use the control pad to go along with the character. But now that we're watching it without control pads, well, you can use your hand to control it. So you watch, I'll go here, and then I'll turn here. You can use your hands to control it. You can go up and down and all around. But this is a new show. It's a new season, and we don't know how far we can get. But it looks as though this is turning into some kind of a video game cartoon because it's being steeraged by the machine and whomever played it originally. Now that we're stuck on this frame means I'm going to go way up here because we can go hours into this. That's the girl from the Rutabaga Sister Squad, and below her is Jinky Highwater, the main look on News Today. Now, if you go through this maze, you'll see a Knockwowzer burst white that used to be in the curtain of all the things we used to hold. But that doesn't make any sense because we had to give it away. But if you ever knew about it, I was going to tell you that you'd have a job doing these kind of things. And that's what I really like about this cartoon is it just sears me to the level of I can't understand anything but why we'd rather be watching anything but this right now. I mean, these great saves on the memory card, that reminds me how slow it used to take to play these things. Oh, I'm kidding. I would never say a bad thing about a game. And I wasn't saying it was bad because when it goes slow on the loading time, you can run outside for a little bit of the reefer. Dang it, I gotta fast forward this. We're always loading. I love you guys, but like nowadays, it loads on its own and you don't have to like stare at the loader. But I'm always staring at the loader. Captain Greenbeard knows whenever this cartoon gets done, and this is somebody else's cartoon, but they're steering it for us because they didn't know we'd get this angle. And that looks like Grandma Grax, and that looks like Tom Apothecary. And they're flying down the level of the rain road. And search me out because I think the ultimate Stein has come from us believing what we're thinking. Well, believing what we're thinking is one of those realms that I just very much don't endure because it's a level of realm that comes to me when I'm speaking of the most current forms of technology. And you can see how the update in technology and the current form of technology is showing us how special the cartoon can be, even in video game form, and that's just one of the things we reckon. Now, in science today, they say there's two kinds of people. One that are interested in video games and others that don't have much interest. But me, yeah, I dig video games. I mean, what do you think, Greenbeard? Greenbeard? Oh, I'm Greenbeard. Well, I don't think we're quite ready for a cartoon like this because it feels like I'm following them from behind and that I've tricked out the picture and somehow and somebody else programmed these things in. And I know it's so exciting to you to hear me say that I've finally found a way to watch video games justified as cartoons. Because you see, I watch video games that my friends play like this one, and that gives me video game credit. If you could count all the games I've watched, then, well, you're away at sea on the Flying Dutchman. You see, you have to get the rental tapes and the VCR. And the VCR is $100 a pop for renting it. And then you got to rent all the tapes, which are like And this is even in the 80s when they were doing stacks of tapes. And it was all these like Michael Landon underground shows that nobody really knew. He was out in the hallway dancing around whenever I came home. No, that's not what I'm saying. Because I just like the video, okay? I'm a fan, that's all. Come on now. All right, very much. We're going to have to click off of this and go somewhere else. Okay, now if we have a commercial here, we can steer it just my way. All right, now this is a different game. It's, hang on, Pixel Modern Sonic and... Oh, so it's Sonic and Super Mario. 2 players. Wow. Now, why they're always running from behind is because it's a point of view, but you have to see the character too. But it's less cramming to watch in this one because in the previous race of cars, they had it such at an angle that you could never see their face. But that's what these games are like. You can never see their face, and that's just because they're shy and have stage fright. And when they turn around and face you, they have to about face. And so he's running up here. He's running wild. Look at this. I like this suddenly. It's almost like I'm playing. Oh, if I was playing this only. Oh, watching video games, I always just want to play. I've never played a video game in my life, you guys. And I've only seen 12 cartoons so far, 13. And half of them aren't even cartoons. But we're still learning, right? This is your model of learning. And I was amazed at how much I learned just by watching that last scene. I mean, my brain cells were stimulated, they were growing, they were refilling with energy, and then the bomb came on the hill, which is kind of snazzy. And he will show his face to the camera and blow a kiss or whatever, but we've got to knock him down. Oh. Yes. Look at the way they coded this game with logarithms and algorithms. We love that. But the algorithm is what runs the moving cartoon. That is the interface engine of the constant movement on here. That something is always moving, and that which sits still is the read-only memory. The logarithm. And there's the star. Beautiful star. It came one night in the sky to sing us all a lullaby. The star in the sky. Well, we're just about halfway through where we need to be. No, we're not even there. Sorry for checking the time, everyone. It's just that I have to fly back to New York to go to Playboy New York to give a speech, but it's probably just going to be over the phone. And I'll probably cancel it because I have stage fright. And then after that, when I get back from New York, I'll head to my home, which is near Chapman, and I'll lay my head to rest on the park bench out in front of the school. But one day, that will pay off, Dungeon Master, I mean Captain Greenbeard. And one day, you'll see that you made a difference to everybody. Okay, alright, that's fair enough, but I don't really think that I like hearing you praise me that much, but it did sound kind of nice, I guess. Now, why could he pick up this block one time, and now he can't even struggle? Oh, there, he's tossing it on its side. This seems kind of surreal, this kind of gaming. I think we need to see a different cartoon. How's about a different cartoon? Perhaps a cartoon. Technical difficulties, everyone. Technical difficulties, everyone. Technical difficulties, everyone. Now, we're going to watch another video game related thing, but it's not the game. And I hope you all like the commercials in this because we have to skip through them. And this may be a game, but we're doing it anyway. Oh, it does look like a game after all. But we want to see it for a minute. It's kind of this slow-moving march to the winter caves. But now we go to another kind of thing, which is taking us adrift in this episode of Cartoon Critic. We'll be pretty far into the story by the time. I'm glad we found this, and I apologize for the technical difficulties. Well, I'm glad that you said that, because I wouldn't have known that it was even principally featured this way. But this is a cartoon, whether someone's controlling it or not. This is a cartoon. And that Cartoon Network is so kind to give us their label for these documents, these historical documents that are imprints of time and computer language that's bookied around into these courts of slew. And then they take you and they bottom you up with a disappointment racket, and they put you in the ground just where you once stood. And that's why I can't really tell how this could even be a show, that it's difficult to believe that it's season 2. And I'm getting sentimental about just being with you today. And I got to admit, I thought I would be uncomfortable being with you today. But right now, watching this Mario cartoon, and you're not supposed to know his name is Mario. It's actually Matchmaker, is what his M means on his hat. Next time on Captain Critic, I'll find something like this that I can get lost in and get totally distanced from, and sit and let it put me to sleep. And it's so challenging to figure out the peculiar world of Mario that I really like just trailing off the topic and going to another sentence before I finish the point. And so Mario was talking to this pink flying vegetable ghoul, and it reminded me of a ghoul I saw. But that there's bombs chasing Mario is cool. You know, this is one of those reasons I like AI. But someone actually wrote the real script for this. It was one of Klaus Kinski's last manuscripts. It was called Deutsch de Douche. And I didn't mean that in a bad way, because now we're going to have to redo the film or only show it to Facebook or whatever. But I just got lessons for you all. If you want to know what a good time is, let the good times go, because here we go. And he's got his wand, and he's waving him around, and he looks like a big fart is coming. And that was kind of weird. I don't know. It's surreal in a way. What do you think, Captain Greenbeard? Well, it's funny you should ask Scott. There's all these stories mixed in at once. And it's so intricate how they go to these different battles. And just how there's these different characters. And I know you all out there know that Dungeon Master and Cartoon Critic are part of a tradition of comedy. Now, we're not very good at comedy, but Dungeon Master sailed off again and took my Flying Dutchman, and here I am. But I'm just telling you that we're supposed to be funny, but really, I don't know. When I criticize a film, I don't always go for the joke, because, oh wait, we got a commercial. Oh, where'd it go? Chalk drawings. I don't like the look of that. You two better not do anything bad. Whew, close one. I didn't know what they were doing in there. I thought, this is intense. Oh, dude! Sweep away, Mario. Okay, we gotta change the channel, everybody. Mario just got, clipped. Oh, man. Well, this is the same one. Alright. We saw this one. Let's go there. Wow, we're flashing through the vids today. Captain Greenbeard, we kind of got out-tracked with these video game themes. I mean, won't our show supposed to be about cartoons? And yet, here we are looking for anything to dredge across. And it's all beautiful. These Sonic videos sure are lacrimose. No, they're beautiful. I'm not... I already made fun of this video game, and now I'm just sitting here. Oh, look. This was a legendary moment. Hang on. Oh. I didn't know Mickey was going to kick Sonic's ass. Dude, Sonic's totally getting his ass kicked. Whoa. They're falling off the hill. You guys going to be okay? Oh, I have a bandage for that, Sonic. Mario's fine. He can fall off of any ledge as long as it's not a bottomless pit, right? Right. That's weird. This technology blows my mind. It's like the science of the new ordinary types that were once regular and now forgotten, and now they need in to everything they get. And that's why I get what I want when I want what I get. And furthermore, this should not be just one issue after another for these delinquent cartoons. I mean, look at that guy in his sombrero. He acts like he's famous or something. Like, how can you be famous and be him? I mean, come on now. Where'd he go? And really, I mean, there was a Chihuahua's tacos that he used to eat at all the time. But they weren't really making Chihuahuas out of the tacos, were they done? Cartoon Critic. I know you did that on purpose. And even if you didn't, it's cool. But I just want you to know that we're missing the main event by having this conversation. And really distracting everyone from keeping their eyes on the screen, because that's a beautiful cartoon. Look at, it's a beautiful apocalypse in there. They're flying around, they're catching air. This is some beautiful filmmaking. And he's like, he's taking a dive, yeah. Now, this game hasn't come out yet, and it's called GTA 5 Sonic vs. Speedy Gonzales vs. Mickey Mouse. Jumps, falls, and ragdolls. Well, we'll just pretend like we don't know what that means. And I'm not giving up on you anytime soon, friends at home. If you're here to watch a cartoon and just tuned in, then you'll know that this is the part where Spider-Man and Mickey Mouse show up together and they join a team. And I don't think that title underneath it quite gave it credit to what we're watching, but that there's a strange language here. I like it. It looks Hebraic, but it could be from the Middle East, which is Hebraic as well. And then he goes down in here and he's swimming around, and look, there's it's Mario. It jumps to the other scene right when there's suspense, I guess. Oh, excuse me, everyone. That weed I smoked a little earlier. Hang on. So, now that we have seen some damage done in this film, I have to warn you that violence wasn't necessarily what we were going for, but we have other things we can watch with the Mario Masters, and I think that, whoa, this is interesting video footage. I don't know how all of it's coming up, but it reminds me that in 4 minutes from now, we'll be dialing in on this Cartoon Critic moment, and I just think it takes a moment like this to really recognize who you are as a human being, because you can reflect off the cartoon and say, this is what I am in a cartoon, and this is what I am in a person. And I know you think it's all this BS about being a critic and all this, but critics have a lot of good kickbacks. They have cute girlfriends. They have decent amount of money. And they're always getting money for talking about the film. That seems like the easiest job of all. So, I mean, it isn't an easy job, though, because you have to go to college and learn big words and everything. And I'm not training Captain Greenbeard to go back to college and still be a critic, but what he's saying is that when he reviews a film, he's being paid for other people's movies. Man, when I became a critic, Captain Greenbeard, I had to pay to watch the movie and then pay to review the movie. And nothing's changed, man. So, Leonard Maltin's lucky because he writes a review, he gets tons of money. Me, I barely pay off the person that asks me for money to write a review. And I like that system better, even though it's a top secret. None of you can know about that. Okay, I see what you're saying. Now, Luigi is kind of stressed out because with his ice shooting device, he's aiming it around and shooting it in every direction. And all of a sudden he gets this lapse in taste and goes out in the hall with his Father of the Bride check is everywhere, and he's going to fall in one if this gets all expression. Oh, look. It is expressionistic all of a sudden. Sorry, I was trying to zoom in on his face. Put a shirt on, Mario. Jeez. All right. This is getting graphics. Graphics. Man, and I thought Mortal Kombat was bad. All right. We're just about done. Here on Captain Greenbeard. It got kind of scooted because we ran into a playlist which was sponsored by Wix Do It Yourself. And that's cool that playlist was sponsored. Now, we're kind of going to have to hang in there and go on this sort of epilogue mode. Though it seems only a minute ago I was speaking. Oh, we saw all this. Wow. It keeps going back to the games we saw. This is a good thing, because then we're familiar with the game and we know how to play it again. And, it's a different game every time. Why not keep watching it? Because if you watch the show and it's a different game every time, then it's never the same thing twice, and that's why video games never get boring. And if video games get boring, then it would be like us watching a game and kind of feeling bored, but then making fun of it and still not really laughing about it. So it's a good idea for a show about video games that are cartoons, because everything's moving all the time, but only the characters moving. But I've seen animation where the characters are moving and everything else isn't. But I can't get into the game form function of a game engine to describe to you, or like a computer gate with binaries, how these codes work on the computer. And normally they form the characters in like pixels, or like Pixar would, where they put those screens up that are checkerboarded, or just straight up and down lines, and side to side line, cross lines, squares. And then they draw a picture with the computer. But they take pictures of every possible way he could look, and the way he could look around Mario, and every possible shape he could be in. And they program all that into the game as an option for when you use the keyboard and then you move it around, and then it takes that programmed animated way. So it is animation, all right. Now, one last thing I have to remind you of before I go tonight. Oh, don't do that. Scotty, you're just being a hero again and trying to let me out of my duties, and I appreciate that, because my duties are viciously hard as a cartoon critic. And I'm going to keep on fighting the good fight. And Lord knows, one day, the Dark Lord, the Overlord, probably needs to know this too. One day, there will be nothing but cartoons. The world will be gone. The universe will be gone. The breakfast cereal's gone. Boo. Black hole sun, won't you come? And after all is left and all is destroyed, besides the pyramids in Skull Mountain, there will be all the video games ever made on a satellite that still floats freely in the Hubbard galaxy of the lost Quiznos. Before you get there, I suggest you write a book. Because if you write a book, then you would see that books interact differently than video games. You can only predict and assess and write a book while you're reading it. Even if it's an old book, you can still write it. And that's what I like about books.